Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. So today we are going to be doing a little bit of a different video just because I do want to mix in some child content just because it is a large aspect of my life. Obviously I won't be showing my child, but I do kind of today want to go over feeding and kind of our first year journey on that. Now this specific video is only going to be over kind of the liquids aspect of eating, and one of the main reasons, and I might mention a couple times, is that Everly is a little bit behind in her intake of food. She struggles with textures, and that is something that we are working on with a doctor, so I'm going to kind of like leave that aspect out, but I did kind of want to share our journey with the liquid feeding so far. I'll kind of go through products, the different formulas, breastfeeding, all of that we kind of worked on. So first off, she was born, she latched right away, but my milk did not come in for almost 2 full weeks. I barely had anything, and it was to the point that she was actually hungry. It wasn't just babies don't need that much, like she was actually hungry. So we pretty quickly went to formula. Just the Similac that the doctors gave us that was pre-mixed, just to get us by, and I pumped and I pumped and I pumped and I pumped. I've gone through a few pumps. I had a Medela, and if I mispronounce these brands, I'm really sorry. I had a Medela pump. That was the one that the hospital was able to give me through my insurance, and while good, it was not my favorite. I didn't like that there was pretty much like a low and a high suction, and that was it. There wasn't a lot of other settings involved. So I switched to a Motif. I borrowed that from a friend, and I really liked the different settings that had on it, and so I was like, okay, we're going to kind of find something. And then I found secondhand a Spectra pump. This is not the battery powered or chargeable one that you can carry around with you. This is the wall plug one, and I absolutely love that one. Fun fact, I found that for 40 bucks, and it had brand new parts still in the bag. Somebody had bought the parts and then never used the new parts. They did use the pump itself, but it looks like they bought replacement parts and never used them. So for 40 bucks I was able to get that, and I still have that. I'm hoping to save that for future children. I also bought a travel Spectra as well, and that one is battery powered, and same concept. I really like that. It is not as strong as the main one, but it still works really well. And then I also purchased a and that one I got for $50. That was completely brand new, but I did get that second hand. It was just still in the box. They just decided they didn't need it, so they got rid of it, and I got a really good deal on it. And that's my recommendation. Is you guys really want expensive things, look for consignment shops, secondhand, things like that. Do make sure they work first, and make sure to buy new parts. But the machine, the mechanism itself, that's the expensive, or to me is a really expensive part, you can possibly find secondhand, and it will allow you to try different ones and find the ones that work best for you. So after that, I did buy a mom cozy. I'm not sure. I believe it was the M5. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that became my travel pump. That's the one I went to work with. I went to errands with, anything like that. It went in my bra. It was a rechargeable wearable pump, and I absolutely love that. And towards the end of my journey of pumping, it was actually the only thing that I had out still, just because I knew I was coming to the end of my journey. Now it did kind of end more abruptly than I was thinking. Just after 6 months, I got very sick, and while I was slowing down on my pumping, I unfortunately had to go on a medication that not only could I not feed her the breast milk that I pumped, but it also dried up. So I pretty much, the next day after I started taking it was completely done pumping, and that was pretty my abrupt end. I didn't really plan on abruptly ending like that, but I actually think it's for the best in the end, because I didn't have to slowly wean, and like I said, mentally I was kind of at my end there. But I started out very slowly, and we slowly started cutting back on the amount of formula bottles she needed, and eventually I could completely pump milk for her for the entire day. Now, she still had one formula bottle per day right before bed. That's just our preference. She used the Orange 360 Similac sensitive one, and that was not really my preference. It was just what was available and what the hospital had sent us home with, so we just kind of kept her on that. I did store, so as she drank her milk, before I went back to work, I would put the milk in a bottle, which I'll show you in just a second, and then anything extra would go in this Dr. Brown's pitcher, and at the end of the day, I would mix everything up, and I would put them in freezer bags. I'm pointing over here because that's where I kept them at the time. Put them in freezer bags and then make bricks out of them, in 48-ounce bricks. And then when she started going to daycare, I would have a travel bag with me, and I would keep them. They were not bottles, they were just breast milk. They were breast milk bottles, but not the bottles you drink out of, that a baby drinks out of. And at the end of the day, I would pour them all in here and then mix them up, and they would go in the freezer, and then the oldest breast milk would come out of the freezer and go to daycare with her for the day, and then she would have fresh milk when she was at home. And that's kind of how we did that. She started on these Philips Event bottles. We also liked the Nano Bebe bottles. We really liked those, but at the end of the day, these were just shaped better for travel and things like this. So these are the 4-ounce bottles in plastic. We started at 0, then went to 1, 2, and now she is on a 3 flow nipple. She is currently on a 3 flow nipple, and it works perfectly for her. She had these at home and at daycare. I actually just found this one. That's the only reason I still have it out. All of her other ones have been put away. We did still keep the Nano Baby bottles because like I said, I really do like them, and I think that when I was at home and was first here, and when she was on low flow, we never bought the upper flow nipples for those. It was perfect, so I'd love to use those for our next baby if possible, and along with these, my goal is to not have to buy anything. Then she graduated to the larger, again, Philips Event bottles. We absolutely love these. So we have 4 of the glass ones. These are 8-ounce. And then we have 4 of the plastic ones. This one has formula in it. The empty ones actually are drying right now, so you'll have to excuse me. This is the only one that was left, but this is a 9-ounce, and this one's tinted blue. I believe they have tinted pink as well. These were just the ones that were on sale at the time, so we have 4 of these. And then she also has the clear plastic ones in this size. She has 3 of those at the daycare, and they wash and handle all of that, so I don't deal with that. And she continued on with that formula. We did notice a lot of spit up, and I just didn't like the ingredients of those formulas. And I don't know if you guys have seen, I believe it was a Consumer Reports test that came out, but I kind of was right in my feeling. It's not the worst one, but it wasn't the best one. And before that report came out, long before, I think it was around 6 months, I believe, we switched to this since we were going full-time, and that is around the time that we switched to full-time, so just after 6 months, we switched formulas to Bobbie. I absolutely love this formula. It's whole milk. I just get a subscription. We keep the extra up here, and the daycare has a couple one. wish it came in larger ones, but I absolutely love these ingredients. She does so well on the whole milk formula, and it's worked out perfectly. Now, I have noticed this does not have as strong as a smell, and I feel like it blends better when I switched back to the other one. We ran out of this when I was trying to figure out the amounts that we needed, and they do sell them at Target, but we don't have a Target near us, so I switched back to the Similac just for a couple of weeks, and it was absolutely terrible. Her spitting up started again, and it just was not good. So if your baby's having trouble, I highly do recommend this, but that is kind of where we are. She drinks 6 ounces every 3 hours, and she sleeps through the night, so she does not get anything at night. And then we also started on water. Now we did start on sippy cups. I'm going to put this back in the fridge. Sorry guys, that is her morning bottle. So I'm going to stick that back in the fridge. And I also make all of her bottles as she drinks them, except for her morning bottle. I do make that the night before just because it is much easier in the morning. If she wakes up earlier than I expected, she already has the bottle ready and I can finish getting around while she's drinking the bottle. But sippy cup wise, we started her on sippy cups for water. We do not do juice or anything else. She only drinks water and formula, and so we started with these nubby ones. She has still not figured these out. We haven't tried them in a couple months, so I would love to go back to them and try them. I think that I love that the sippy cups have 2 handles. You'll notice all of our sippy cups have 2 handles. I like that she can grab them on either hand, and also for my sake, the lids, I don't think you guys can hear this, but it makes a clicking noise when it is properly latched on, which I absolutely loved. But unfortunately, she did not drink these. We did try the 360. This was highly recommended by a lot of people, and she can now drink out of this, but it's just not her preferred method. And to be honest, I really kind of wish she would, because these are really easy to clean and I wouldn't mind having several of these. And it does have the motion of drinking kind of out of a real cup, which she does do. We do practice that, just not regularly. So ideally she will someday be able to use this, but our favorite and one that works out really well is these. Now they're 2 different brands, but same concept. We have the Tommee Tippee, it's Star something, and then the Munchkin right here. And the main reason that I like these is, as you can see, the straw kind of moves, and even when she's laying upside down or on her side, it will still she'll still be able to drink out of the straw. Another thing that I like is if it's upside down, it does not leak. That's kind of another thing in theme of what I like is these Philips Advent bottles. They don't leak. I noticed a lot of bottles, I didn't know that was special to ours, but when you hold them upside down, they do not leak. That is absolutely amazing. I don't have to worry about that. The flow is based on her, and so I absolutely love these. First of all, again, 2 handles, both of these. We actually have 3 of these, 1 at the daycare and 2 at home, and then we just have 1 of these. And then I also like, you can close it. This is the same concept. Fun fact, if you have dogs that like little pieces, watch out. She left this one on the floor and the dog ate the top of the straw. So I'm seeing if we can get another straw or if we need a completely new glass. But we do have this. Her other one is currently being washed, otherwise I'd show you, but we have another one of these at the house. I prefer these just due to the fact it shows the ounces on it. That's my preference, so I can see what she's drinking over this one, but she seems to like both of them, and I really, at the end of the day, if she can drink out of them, that's great. Her speech therapist that saw her for her feeding issue really liked these straws as well. And so that has kind of been our liquids feeding journey for the first year. We obviously have tried a lot. We actually went through like 4 other different types of formulas, trying to find something for her, just trying out little differences, and this truly is the best formula if you need formula. And we did breast milk a good portion as well. I truly believe that fed is best. I would have preferred myself personally to do breast milk longer than I did, and I think that that would be a goal on my next child. Just I think that I've learned a lot, so I could possibly pump more and feed the baby more and longer on breast milk. But at the end of the day, this is the formula that has worked best for us, and I am not going to feel sad about the fact that we did end up having to switch to formula, although my wallet does feel sad, because formula, you guys, no matter which formula route you go, the cheapest, the most expensive, they are all expensive. But at the end of the day, the baby needs fed, and I really would like her to get what I feel is best for her, and for me that's Bobby. Now obviously we have gone through a plethora of products. I am not a professional, I'm not a doctor. This is just recommendations from our professionals on our circumstances. It is from friends, it is from family, and this is what we landed on that works best for us. We obviously found a bottle that works for us, we found a formula that works for us. Obviously have been through the sippy cup challenge, and I'm hoping eventually she just takes whatever and can drink out of a cup soon. But that being said, make sure to do what's best for you and your baby, and you follow your doctor's recommendations. This was just kind of a quick video to go over everything that I recommend doing and what has worked for us. Now, when I say I recommend, I just mean if you don't know where to start and you're needing something to try, maybe try these because it's what worked for us. But please know, again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a mom who is filming our experience and where we landed on everything based on trial and error. So make sure to consult a professional if you feel like you need one, and make sure that you do what's best for you and your baby, and don't just listen to a random person on the internet has what's best for your baby. So make sure and have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!